the husband's perspective, like, hey, obviously, like, this guy's gay, no hard feelings, it's a sight to be seen. He wants to be completely dismissed from the lawsuit. He wants out on the lawsuit. It's still happening. It's still going on. Here he is in a more clear picture of him kissing Andrew Garfield for the same reasons.
Ryan Reynolds just couldn't hold it in anymore as his best bud, Hugh Jackman, exposed some brutal truth bombs about their past.
They've like leaked all these text messages.
Apparently, it's been a total disaster for Reynolds, but let's be real. Jackman couldn't care less, especially after being dumped by Ryan and losing his Marvel gig. Now, it's all just a giant stamp on Ryan's messy sexuality, his narcissism, and of course, Blake playing the role of his little beard.
Are these two headed for divorce?
And honestly, Hugh Jackman was never supposed to be this tangled up in the mess that is the lawsuit involving Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively.
Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, will be deposed, and I suspect that might be making Ryan Reynolds extremely nervous, and I'll tell you why.
At first, his deposition seemed like a small, almost insignificant part of the story. After all, he was just involved in the skits for It Ends With Us, right? He was dragged into this drama only because of his connection to Reynolds and Lively's film project.
Hugh Jackman was also in the now infamously cringe It Ends With Us promotional skit that had nothing to do with promoting the movie, which was about domestic violence, where Ryan directed it and he brought in his mom and Blake was in the background. We learned that.
It was supposed to be a brief moment of awkwardness, a formality in the legal process, but that's not how things played out. Ryan Reynolds, the Hollywood darling, seemed to have pulled Hugh Jackman into a much deeper situation than anyone expected.
Ryan Reynolds' bromances, his various bromances over the years. We've talked about him and Jake Gyllenhaal, and obviously this has been a bromance that has been very much thrown in the public's face.
The bromance between these two had always been a topic of conversation, something the public loved to gawk at. But what the fans didn't know, and what's slowly becoming clearer, is that there was something sinister under the surface.
Ryan's kind of perpetually highly publicizing his bromances is something that I find to be quite strange, right? Mostly because he's a 48-year-old man, Ryan Reynolds. He has 4 kids, and he seems to dedicate a lot of time and resources, like financial resources, to trying to convince the public that these bromances are perfectly normal.
Reynolds didn't just invite Jackman to play along in some fun skits. There's a lot more behind that involvement. As the lawsuit deepens, Jackman's name keeps popping up, and it's not looking good for the Wolverine actor.
Kind of making a lot of gay jokes and like trying to normalize all of these gay jokes, but nobody's actually asking him to do that. Not the gay community or the heterosexual community.
The ramifications of this lawsuit might end up being far worse for Jackman than anyone anticipated, and it's not just about legal battles anymore. The actor's Marvel career is now in jeopardy. What's more shocking is the fact that Jackman didn't sit idly by in all of this. He took matters into his own hands and anonymously leaked crucial details to Candace Owens.
They've like leaked all these text messages.
This wasn't just a tip-off. This was Jackman actively pulling the strings from behind the scenes. What was his motive? Was he just looking out for himself, or did he want to bring down Reynolds as well?
Oh, he's gay. Oh, yeah, see, straight guys don't say that.
Either way, the message is clear. Best friends don't always have each other's backs. When push comes to shove, they'll pull each other down if it suits them. Jackman's career might be on the line, but he's making sure Reynolds' dirty laundry gets aired out in the process.
Gay guys are great. I love gay guys. There's also bad ones because they're just normal people. I have zero problem. There's nothing wrong with being gay in any way, but he definitely is.
Now, let's talk about the legal strategy that Blake Lively and her team are pulling. The whole situation has become a game of who can hide the most, and Lively's team seems to be playing it masterfully.
You just wonder if that's also partially the reason why Blake's team is adamant that they need this AEO determination, right? They want the judge to agree to an attorney's eyes only designation to protect, as they term it, highly confidential information that could destroy the careers of the third-party people that are involved.
They attempted to designate certain documents as attorney's eyes only, AEO, hoping to limit access to sensitive information that could be damaging. It's a classic move in legal battles, but it's also a sign of how desperate things have gotten.
And they're going like, we need this AEO designation because their careers would be ruined if the public found something out about them. It just makes you ask what truth could be so poisonous to someone's career that if revealed, it would be over.
The judge ruled that the AEO designations must be limited, and that attorneys would need to justify why certain documents should remain off limits.
You invest in these people because you think they're telling you the truth, and you would just be shocked by that. So I'll tell you, Judge Lehman has reached a decision about that designation. Now, just to briefly remind you what they wanted.
The ruling opened the door for more revelations to come to light, and it's clear that this decision will have far-reaching consequences.
No one else can see it but the attorneys. And we don't need to go to the judges' chambers to duke that out with it's like if we say it is, you just got to go with us. Essentially, they become their own judges. And obviously, Justin Baldoni's team said, no, we don't want that. We just want this to be like a limited scope, confidential.
It wasn't just about protecting sensitive information. It was about uncovering what's really going on behind closed doors.
Regarding Hugh Jackman, in case you were unaware, he recently divorced his wife of 27 years. Her name is Deborah Lee Furness. 27 years is a very long time to be married.
Hugh Jackman's personal life has also been a topic of much discussion over the years. And recently, things have taken an even more dramatic turn. The actor's divorce from his wife of 26 years, sending shockwaves through Hollywood.
They announced their separation to the public in September of 2023. Now, just to plot that on a timeline for you, that was in the midst of the principal filming for Deadpool and Wolverine, which got abruptly paused in that September due to the SAG-AFTRA strike.
But this wasn't just a regular celebrity divorce. This was something the media would run with, stirring up every possible rumor about Jackman. While the details of their divorce remain private, it hasn't stopped speculation from running rampant.
Hugh Jackman has been plagued with rumors of homosexuality throughout his entire career. It has been speculated for a host of reasons. Some fair, some not. Some people just never really bought into him at the peak of his career, having married a woman that was 13 years his senior.
This time, the public seemed less focused on the breakup itself and more on Jackman's personal life, particularly his sexuality. Ever since the divorce, rumors about Jackman's sexuality have been circulating in the media.
No. This guy is using her as a beard, which is a term that people use when you're in like one of these cover marriages. And like I told you, that accusation, it can be real in a lot of circumstances. It goes on a lot in Hollywood.
Some sources have hinted that Jackman may be hiding his true identity, pointing to his long-standing close friendship with fellow actor Ryan Reynolds, as well as his past interactions with other Hollywood personalities.
Anyway, so back to Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. They're in this bromance at the time that he separates from his wife, and you just wonder if that's also partially the reason why Blake's team is adamant that they need this AEO determination.
This speculation has fueled public gossip, with some even suggesting that the relationship between Jackman and Reynolds is more than just friendship. As of now, Jackman has remained tight-lipped about the rumors, but they continue to swirl, much to the dismay of his publicist and PR team.
In that production was the fact that Hugh Jackman opted to kiss his male co-star throughout this production, even though in the original screenplay there was no kiss between the male stars.
The stories about Jackman's sexuality seem to be planted by someone with a vested interest in keeping the actor's image in line with a specific narrative. Owens specifically mentioned Jackman's relationship with Sutton Foster, his younger partner, as part of this carefully crafted narrative. Foster, who Jackman began dating after his divorce, fits the mold of the perfect public partner, designed to counterbalance the rumors surrounding Jackman's personal life.
I'm telling you, this is a PR team doing this, that he was dating his co-star, Sutton Foster. She's the co-star in another Broadway musical that he is participating in. This is called The Music Man.
According to Owens, this relationship could very well be a calculated move, orchestrated by Jackman's PR team to maintain his image as a straight, family-oriented man. PR manipulation isn't something new in Hollywood. Celebrities are often forced to create certain narratives to maintain their popularity and public image, even if those stories don't reflect their true lives.
They instantly started seeding this rumor like, yo, well, maybe he got divorced because he's in this relationship with Sutton Foster. But then he moved to set up a paparazzi shot.
In Jackman's case, the rumors about his sexuality are being actively addressed by his team. However, the speculation persists, especially as people begin to dig into his past. Now, let's turn to Ryan Reynolds, who's been dragged into this entire mess, and not just in connection with Hugh Jackman.
In some manner or another, that person is a fraud. So whether it's how they're publicly presenting their sexuality, whether it's how they're publicly presenting their brand, a la Taylor Swift, I'm a nice girl, and then you find out she's actually a really mean girl, that would be ruinous to her career.
Reynolds is currently facing serious allegations from Justin Baldoni, the director of It Ends With Us. The lawsuit filed by Baldoni accuses Reynolds of defamation, extortion, and interference with contractual relations.
Ryan Reynolds did call Justin Baldoni a predator. Remember, they had in their lawsuit said that he went up to a guy that worked at WME. This was allegedly at the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere.
The accusations stem from a series of claims that Reynolds made about Baldoni during the filming of the movie. According to Baldoni, Reynolds allegedly called him a predator, which is at the heart of the defamation lawsuit. This is no small matter. If the allegations hold up, it could severely damage Reynolds' career.
He's a sexual predator. And their argument to that is, well, Ryan believed that was true. Ryan believed that he was a predator, and therefore, this is not problematic because he believed it. The exact language is, the entirety of the plaintiff's defamation claim appears to be based on the 2 times that Mr. Reynolds allegedly called Mr. Baldoni a predator.
In his defense, Reynolds claims that he truly believed the accusations about Baldoni were accurate, which is why he made the comments in the first place. However, this argument is unlikely to stand up in court. The idea that a public figure can defame someone simply by believing their accusations is shaky at best.
This is actually the strongest part of their argument that's being made, because I will say truthfully, it's a good defense. It's not strong enough to get him dropped from this lawsuit or dismissed, but an actual belief in the claim would be sufficient enough to prove that there was no actual malice.
The legal team defending Reynolds is pushing the idea that his statements should be protected by the First Amendment, but the concept of free speech becomes much murkier when it crosses the line into defamation.
That he's a narcissist. He's a total narcissist. He cannot comprehend a world. I truly believe he cannot comprehend a world in which him and his wife are not liked.
Ryan Reynolds has long been the poster child for Hollywood charm and wit, yet his public persona, often seen as lighthearted and full of quips, has also raised some unsettling questions, particularly when it comes to the homosexual undertones in his public skits.
Now, like I said, irrelevant. It's not going to work in my view in order to get an outright dismissal, because the judge would have to believe that in the process, the next process which has to take place, which would be the limited discovery, that they wouldn't actually find that he did explicitly defame him in text messages.
Over the years, Reynolds has participated in several skits and public events that many have interpreted as having a hidden subtext, often hinting at something deeper than just a performance.
This is from 2017. So Ryan Gosling wins an award, and as a bit, Ryan Reynolds, Andrew Garfield. That's funny. That's funny to steal Ryan Gosling's little moment there.
One of the most notable examples includes Reynolds' interaction with male actors in various comedic sketches, most famously in his skit with Andrew Garfield. In these skits, Reynolds kisses male actors or engages in behavior that many interpret as homoerotic in nature, sparking a broader conversation about his sexuality.
Gay men they have a light in their eyes that straight men don't have. We don't. There's a twinkle, okay? Gay men look like that. Spend enough time around them, I have great gaydar. Straight men look like that.
Candace Owens, known for her outspoken commentary, has weighed in heavily on this issue, suggesting that these public performances are not just for comedic effect, but are part of a carefully constructed public persona that Reynolds has built over the years.
Look at his dead eyes. Straight. Gay. So that's all that's happening. He's a closeted gay man, and that's just, when you deny yourself that truth, you're just gonna do weird, crazy shit.
She argues that Reynolds' consistent use of these homosexual undertones serves a dual purpose: to maintain his appeal as a charming, relatable, and progressive Hollywood figure, while also keeping the public guessing about his true identity.
His assessment is that gay men have a twinkle. And it's what he's saying is what I was trying to introduce in a more polite way.
In a society that's increasingly embracing fluidity when it comes to sexual orientation, Reynolds seems to capitalize on this ambiguity. But the question remains, is this just a calculated move, or is there something deeper lurking beneath the surface? The skit with Andrew Garfield is particularly telling. At a 2017 press event for Deadpool 2, Reynolds and Garfield engaged in a playful moment when Reynolds leaned in to kiss Garfield on the lips, something that was met with laughter, but also with a sense of discomfort by some viewers.
Sexuals, get ready for your superhero. Gay news, this is huge! Marvel Studios is about to get a whole lot gayer because Ryan Reynolds is begging the president of Marvel to finally have Deadpool come out in the third movie as bi. Where's my clear phone case?
This was not the first time Reynolds had been involved in similar public moments. His history of participating in skits where he's flirted with or kissed other male actors only added fuel to the fire. So, the question persists. Is Reynolds using these moments to flirt with the idea of an alternate persona, one that might reflect his true sexual orientation? Or is it just another chapter in the ongoing narrative of Hollywood's favorite straight guy?
He had a moment with Patrick Warburton, and they decided to be funny and kiss.
Owen's analysis doesn't stop there. She suggests that Reynolds might be hiding his true sexuality behind these performances in a way that could be more damaging than he realizes. She points out that this ambiguity only serves to keep the public questioning his true self. The jokes and the sexual innuendos might be Reynolds' way of deflecting attention from something more serious.
And he did it again at the Genie Awards because it's really funny. He kissed a fellow Canadian actor, Scott Thompson. Now, of that moment, we just have a photo of it. It just is a recurring bit, okay?
But why hide it in the first place? In a world where LGBTQ+ rights are a prominent part of public discourse, why would someone like Reynolds, who has built his brand on authenticity, choose to hide his true identity? Owens doesn't buy the narrative that Reynolds is just having fun or keeping up with the times.
It still isn't!
It's a lot. It just kept going on. And that was 25 seconds, and it looks like they cut some of it. Obviously, like, this guy's gay, no hard feelings, but this is not how straight men act.
She believes there's more going on than meets the eye, and that Reynolds is carefully crafting his public image to remain untouchable while still playing with the boundaries of sexuality. This complexity adds an intriguing layer to the actor's persona, leaving many to wonder whether the joke is truly on his fans or on himself.
It just is a recurring bit, okay? I just wanted to let you guys know it's a recurring bit, and it's just a bit. He's just acting. There's nothing more to be seen there. He just likes to write these skits and these bits at award shows, and also when he's on these late-night talk shows.
But the sexual undertones in Reynolds' performances are not the only controversial aspect of his public persona. Reynolds has also been embroiled in a number of manipulative and extortive tactics that have raised questions about his behavior both on and off the screen.
And also when he's on these late night talk shows, and also writes that a lot into his character. When he can control the script, he thinks it's funny to imply that he's gay. Take from that what you will.
According to Candace Owens, Reynolds has used extortion to control movie productions and manipulate scripts in ways that serve his own interests. In particular, Owens highlights Reynolds' involvement in It Ends With Us, a project that has already been surrounded by controversy due to its legal entanglements and behind-the-scenes drama.
They obviously, meaning Justin Baldoni's team, have been going after Ryan Reynolds for defamation, extortion, false light, intentional interference with contractual relations. They presented a very strong argument as to all of those claims, 6 of them.
Owens suggests that Reynolds' demands went beyond the typical actor's request. He allegedly threatened to walk away from the project unless his terms were met, which included rewriting scenes to include his own creative input. The most significant of these demands was the inclusion of a scene that Reynolds personally wrote.
Ryan is problematic here because I had a source that had said that to me, that Ryan was the person who came onto set and essentially took things over after Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
This type of behavior is not uncommon in Hollywood, where actors with major influence can manipulate the direction of a film or TV show to suit their personal vision. However, when the public begins to see this as a pattern of behavior, particularly when the actor is in a position of power, it can begin to tarnish their reputation.
Ryan, I would say, in my opinion, is plausibly the most guilty party of this entire thing, okay? He has just been publicly humiliating Justin Baldoni.
In this context, Reynolds' behavior has also been framed as something of a bully effect. While he has long been known for his sharp wit and comedic timing, there's another side to Reynolds that has come to light in his interactions with others in the industry, particularly Justin Baldoni. Baldoni, the director of It Ends With Us, has been outspoken about his disdain for Reynolds' treatment of him.
We have not even seen his text messages yet. Like, this is just what we've been able to discern from Deadpool skits, It Ends With Us skits, birthday messages to Sandra Bullock, really wacky stuff.
This pattern of manipulation and extortion is not an isolated incident. As Owens notes, Reynolds' actions may be part of a larger strategy to maintain control in Hollywood's notoriously cutthroat environment. Hollywood is full of power plays, but Reynolds' public persona of being the charming, lovable actor has often shielded him from criticism.
I guess his wife was hunting him. He just looked into it peripherally and was ready to enter a verdict. So let's listen to what this TikToker had to say. His handle, by the way, in case you want to follow him, is Put the Dog on the Phone.
The recent TikTok leak of text messages between Ryan Reynolds and various individuals has cast a spotlight on what many have long suspected. There may be more to Reynolds' public persona than he's letting on. A TikTok user meticulously analyzed the leaked texts, suggesting that the language used reveals an unsettling layer of discomfort with Reynolds' own identity, particularly in regard to his sexuality. The user pointed out how the way Reynolds phrases his thoughts and conversations may not just be about casual banter, but could point to a deeper, more emotional struggle.
Junior high kids, they've like leaked all these text messages. And here's one supposedly from Ryan Reynolds. And what's that last line? What's that last line? Oh, he's gay. Oh, yeah, see, straight guys don't say that.
The texts, at first glance, appear to be somewhat harmless, full of typical Hollywood banter. However, a closer look reveals subtle patterns and phrases that hint at someone hiding something. The way Reynolds speaks in these messages seems to reinforce a closeted persona. For example, in private exchanges, he uses certain terms and self-deprecating humor that some users have interpreted as signs of someone trying to mask their true self. While these texts could be viewed as harmless attempts at humor, it's hard to ignore the fact that they're coming from a man who, for years, has been at the center of rumors regarding his sexuality.
Straight guys don't say that. And that's, I'm not some like conservative, and I'm like, men gotta be men. Just straight guys don't say that.
The closeted label that has been casually applied to Reynolds by some may not be so far-fetched after all. The language in these texts, when analyzed, supports the idea that Reynolds may indeed be hiding something. His attempts at being overly charming or playing down emotions in a way that feels almost too rehearsed suggest that there might be a gap between who he presents to the world and who he truly is.
They don't say that. And as soon as you look at him in that light, you're like, yeah. And on a side note, I worked in Los Angeles for years and spent a lot of time in West Hollywood doing jobs. Gay guys are great. I love gay guys. There's also bad ones because they're just normal people. I have zero problem. There's nothing wrong with being gay in any way, but he definitely is.
Candace Owens, ever the outspoken critic of Hollywood's manufactured identities, didn't waste any time diving into these leaked texts. She analyzed them from her usual perspective, focusing on the emotional undertones and the way Reynolds' language played into the broader narrative of his life.
Going younger is better. Not only young, but objectively stupid. She's not very intelligent compared to him. He's very quick-witted. He's also very charismatic.
According to Owens, the leaked texts are yet another piece of evidence that show how Reynolds has been manipulating the public into believing a certain version of himself, one that may not align with the reality of his personal struggles. The leaked texts also reveal Reynolds' struggle with his emotional and personal issues. They hint at a man grappling with his own identity, which is something that his carefully constructed public image has never allowed for. In public, Reynolds is the fun-loving, charming, and almost untouchable actor who plays the role of the perfect husband and father.
And everyone around you is gonna have a hard time because you're like trying to fit this square piece in a circle.
Straight men have dead eyes. There's nothing behind the eyes. And his assessment is that gay men have a twinkle.
But behind closed doors, the texts reveal a different story, one where the actor seems to be quietly battling with who he is and how he's perceived. While Reynolds is not the first celebrity to have their personal texts leaked, the timing of this particular leak is especially damaging. These leaks come at a time when Reynolds is already under intense scrutiny due to his involvement in a messy legal case.
By taking you guys through these like lavender marriages that actually happen in Hollywood, I know they happen for a fact, and there's just something here, this underlying anger that doesn't make sense.
As for Blake Lively, The ongoing legal battle has put an enormous strain on her and Reynolds' relationship. Sources close to the couple have suggested that the tension between them is palpable, with many claiming that the couple is living separately due to the mounting pressure of the lawsuit. Reports about Lively's emotional state have been equally concerning. Her legal team has argued that the stress from the lawsuit has left her feeling anxious, traumatized, and fearful.
So it's been reported for months that they are separated, that Blake and Ryan do not live together, that they are in separate households. And while it's just been speculation and rumors and sources that have come out to talk about these things, or it's been, in different publications.
The emotional toll of this case is not just affecting her, but also her children, who are reportedly struggling with the fallout from the public nature of the case. The pressure has only intensified with each new development, and the strain is visible both in their public appearances and in the way they interact with the media.
She and husband Ryan Reynolds attended Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary show in February. For the most part, the pair have been lying low, while their bitter legal battle against Lively's It Ends With Us director and co-star Justin Baldoni continues to play out.
Reynolds, in particular, is facing intense public backlash. While he has tried to present himself as a victim in the case, many onlookers believe that he is not being completely transparent about his role in the situation. The harsh criticisms of Reynolds and Lively are further amplified by Reynolds' legal motion to dismiss the defamation charges, which has been criticized for its contradictions.
In an amended lawsuit, Lively 37 filed on February 18th, the actress says the emotional impact of the case has been extreme and is affecting Reynolds, 48, as well as their 4 children.
The motion itself, which claims that the defamation accusations are unfounded unless it can be proven that Reynolds did not believe the statements he made about Baldoni, has been slammed by critics as weak and insufficient. This legal misstep has only added another layer of complexity to an already tense situation, leaving Reynolds and Lively's public image in tatters. The legal drama surrounding Reynolds, Lively, and Baldoni continues to unfold, with every new revelation adding another twist to the story. The leaked texts, however, have emerged as one of the most significant developments in the case, as they shed light on Reynolds' personal struggles and emotional turmoil. So, do you think Hugh Jackman was behind the whole text leak game? After all, only 2 people had access, Ryan or Jackman. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.